Welcome to a very spooky edition of Tommy Travels the Second. Well, not that spooky really, but I have seen a ghost in my lifetime. I have. And this is another evening edition of Tommy Travels the Second. That's why there was no weather check at the beginning. It's pitch black outside, so you can't see a thing. And I thought, since I have seen a ghost in my lifetime and we're doing another evening edition here, last time it was really fun with Tommy Travels Predicts the Future, and so tonight I thought, hey, let's tell a ghost story and talk about ghosts in general. And so that is what today's episode is going to be about. And if you are brand new to this channel, go ahead and hit subscribe so you don't miss out on a thing, and I will see you right after this. And so I'm going to get right to the point of the story here tonight, because it's a pet peeve of mine when somebody puts a fancy headline on there and then you click on it and it takes them 12 years to get to the point. It ups their watch time minutes, but I think it's kind of shady. So my ghost story, here we go. I was in about 2nd or 3rd grade at the time. Our family lived in Petaluma, California, which is a suburb of San Francisco. And it was a Saturday morning. I woke up before my brothers and sister did and had to go to the bathroom. Went into the bathroom. I was going to the bathroom, and then I looked over at the shower, which has doors with the bar across, and it has a towel hanging over the bar. And I looked over, and the towel that was hanging on the bar had this guy on it, a man, older man. He was like in one of those 20s or 30s, the pinstripe suits from back then that they used to wear, and he was wearing a hat, and he had gray hair, and older gentleman. I don't remember every single detail about him, but I definitely remember that suit, and you could tell he was a guy from like the 20s or 30s, that era. And he was plain as day on the towel. It wasn't 3D. It looked like almost like an oil painting of a guy. But there was life in there. It looked like he was alive, but it's hard to really explain it, but it was freaky. It wasn't like, hey, I kind of think that could have looked like a thing. No, it was a very clear picture, like looking at a painting. And so I washed my hands and I looked at the towel, and it was still there. So I thought, okay, I'm not going to touch that towel. Maybe my mind is playing tricks on me or whatever. And so I started to walk out of the bathroom, got into the hallway, and I thought to myself, did I really see that? So I turned around to look at the towel, and it was still there. And he wasn't doing anything mean. I wasn't really scared. It was two-dimensional on the towel, but very clear picture of a man, portrait of a man. And I went and touched the towel, and as soon as my finger touched the towel, it disappeared. And so I didn't tell anybody about that for years. I just thought, maybe, you know, it's my mind playing tricks on me, and I didn't, you know, get all excited about it. I never really told anybody about it until I was about a senior in high school, or maybe 1 year out of high school. And my sister and her boyfriend were over at my parents' house, and we were sitting around the kitchen table. It was later at night, and we were having kind of one of these kind of conversations about weird things. And I told this story. I said, well, when I was a kid, I remember you know, went through this story, and I got to the part where I was in the bathroom and I looked over at the towel and I saw this guy, and my sister said, oh my gosh, and he had the pinstripe suit and he had the hat on, and he was an older guy, and it was just looking, I was like, oh my God, my sister saw the exact same thing that I did, because I didn't even have to explain anything about the guy. She remembers him vividly in her mind as well, and she also had never said anything until that point. And we still talk about that today when we think about California, because oh my gosh, was that weird. I hadn't really thought about it that often growing up or anything like that, but when that moment happened and my sister knew exactly what I'm talking about, that's what made it a ghost story for me. And so it's maybe not the best or biggest ghost story you've ever heard, but for me it was it was a paranormal experience. We'll just put it that way. And so that is my ghost story. And so now my question to you is whether or not you believe in ghosts. And I can understand if you don't, if you've never had any type of an experience like that, or dealt with the spooky situation that you can't really explain. If you've never had that happen, I can see how you'd listen to a story like that and just say, oh, that's a bunch of baloney. And, you know, but my thing is that even if that experience hadn't happened to me and my sister had never told me about that it also happened to her, it's so weird to me. But even if none of that happened, I think I would still believe in ghosts for a couple reasons. First, there's too many people out there that have stories that are very believable, and they seem to be very honest people otherwise. I can't believe that they're just making this stuff up without anything on their part to gain. I mean, people that aren't writing a book about it or profiting in any way, they're just saying, hey, this happened to me, I can't explain it, I don't know why, but there it is. The other reason is because I do believe in life after death. I don't believe that when we die, that's just it. We're in a void of nothingness. I believe we do have spirit in here, and that goes somewhere. And that kind of relates to near-death experiences, which I've never had one, but I still do believe in it. And I might do another whole video just on that, because that is a very interesting topic as well. But you hear so many stories about, I died, and then I was drawn to the light, and it's all a very familiar story that goes along with that. And then they get revived due to the technology that we have now that we never had years and years ago. People can be revived, and they were actually dead, though, on the table. So I believe that they were having those experiences. And so that tells me there's life after death. All of those stories, pretty much, I hear, you know, they go to the light and that type of thing. There must be a small percentage of those, though, that are stuck here for some reason. Maybe it's unfinished business, something they need to take care of, something they want to keep an eye on, but they don't go to the light. And maybe that we're seeing little remnants of that other dimension in real life. And I think that could be what ghosts are, but I am not exactly sure. I don't think anybody really knows exactly what it is, but that's my one theory on it. So I'd be real interested in hearing what you guys have to say about that, so leave some comments below. Another thing that makes me believe in ghosts is all of the haunted locations there are throughout the United States. Like that Amityville horror movie, that was based on a real story, an actual family that was being absolutely harassed by ghosts. Now that movie over-exaggerated the whole situation a little bit, but they actually had to move out of that house. And a lot of what was in that movie is actually true. And then if you watch TV, there's all those paranormal investigation shows. Now, some of that is overhyped as well, and they make it seem overly scary. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of time in there where nothing is happening, and then they have their electronic voice recorders, and it's like, zizzle, zizzle. And it's like, clearly saying, get out of here. So I don't believe in all of that stuff, because I think what they tell you to hear, and then you can hear it, kind of, but it's a trick that your mind plays. where somebody told you this is what it sounds like, and then you can kind of hear it that way. And so I don't know about that kind of stuff, but I believe that they do catch some strange phenomenon on the recordings that they do as far as the videos, and I think there's some of that stuff out there that's really real, what they're catching. And all of the haunted hotels and, you know, haunted locations, every state has like a place that is like, come in here, it's the most haunted place in Minnesota, or the most haunted place in whatever state. And people go there and then they come out and say, yep, this happened when I was there. So I don't know. I think that there is really something to it. I have my experience, and I'm just kind of going about this with, like, if that hadn't happened to me, why I still believe ghosts would exist. Well, that was a very fun adventure today from the couch, talking about a very cool subject, ghost stories and things like that. Again, if you've got some thoughts on the topic, please leave some comments below. Love to hear from you. Hit like if you like this video, and please, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit subscribe and a little bell notification next to it so you can be the first to know when a new adventure comes out. And you guys, this has been so much fun, and until next time, I hope to catch you on the flip side. Because it's a pet peeve of mine when there's a label like, I was abducted by aliens. And then you... And it's like, you hear, this is who? And the guy's like, he clearly said, my name is Randy. Randy. That would be an awesome name for a ghost. And then, the last thing that I would say